An abundance of US oil and a drop in demand from places like China led the price of a barrel of oil to fall by 50% over the last 6 months. So why have OPEC nations already increased production this year? Could this add to further drops?
OPEC feels is why should they cut back while other regions are not? Because they'd be the net beneficiary of any cutback in output from OPEC's side. So OPEC is saying that eventually the market will correct itself and it will stabilize.
Prices have risen this week after some low-efficiency oil rigs overseas were shut down, although they still remain low. But Justin says we could see a stabilisation by summer when we hit peak demand.
What's going to happen as the price continues to remain at a low level, then there are going to be increasingly we'll start to see more and more reduction in output from some of the more expensive oil wells. In addition to that, once summer comes, which of course tends to be more or less peak demand in Western countries, and also if there's a resumption in economic growth as well, whether that comes from Europe or whether that comes from China or what have you. So then all these factors will cause increase in oil demand, which will thereby drive the price to go a bit higher.
So with some less efficient rigs shutting down and economic activity picking up in parts of the world, just how long are we looking at until there'll be a proper recovery? What kind of price level are we talking about?
It appears that there is going to be a price floor at some point in time, and we may even be seeing the beginning of this price floor actually establishing itself, and then after that we'll start to see some type of pickup. But in about 6 months' time, I mean, perhaps, and again, I don't want to put myself out on a limb, but I mean, it's entirely in the realm of possibility that the price would be between $70 and $80 per barrel, because I think we're seeing the beginning, as I indicated earlier, of this price floor that is beginning to coalesce right now, and then it start to firm up in the next few months.
The UAE's economic diversification away from oil has protected it from the global drop in prices, but analysts say other nations in the region needed to rise in order to avoid future budget deficits. Eventually, it will need to find a level that's sustainable for all. Katie Fielder, Emirates News.